Okay, so today we're going to introduce inequalities, and you might have seen these before. It's like these signs, and some people talk about the alligator, so we'll talk about that in a second. So right here, we're going to have greater than. So for example, 8 is greater than 6. This one we have less than. So for example, 4 is less than 9. We have greater than or equal to. We have less than or equal to. And then we have this one, which you might not have seen before. This means not equal to. So for example, if I wrote 8 and then that symbol 4, okay, so the trick with these is you want to do the alligator thing. So if I have 8 is greater than 6, we have the alligator's eating the bigger number, right? So imagine that this is like an alligator and he has his teeth. So sometimes people get confused because they don't know which way the arrow goes. You can switch the arrow, but then you have to switch the numbers, right? So if I had this arrow, then I'd have to make the 8 over here and the 6 over here because it always needs to eat the bigger number. So both of these things mean the same thing. 8 is greater than 6 or 6 is less than 8. But as long as we're eating the bigger number, we have our inequality. So we have inequality and we want to express it in words. So we have a number greater, right? Because this is, right, the greater than sign. So a number, x, greater than 4. We're going to graph it on the number line. So let's have steps for graphing. Graphing on a number line. Step 1, circle on the number. Fill in if it says less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or equal to. So if it has that equal to sign. And then 3, draw arrow. Okay, so we start with 4. So we're going to circle on the 4. And then we fill in if it has an equal and just leave it open circle. And then we need to draw the arrow. So we need numbers that are greater than 4. So let's think of a few numbers that are greater than 4, right? We could have x equals 5, we could have x equals 6, we could have x equals 100, etc. So these are all numbers that are greater than 4, right? Because if I put in 6 here, it would be eating the 6, it would be eating the bigger number. So if we look, right, we have 5, we have 6. These are all numbers that are greater than, so we're going to have this arrow go to the right. And so that's how I didn't fill it in this case, and then I drew the arrow. So sometimes you can use the possible solutions to help you figure out which way it goes, right? So this takes a little bit of a practice, but it's not that bad. Okay, let's try this one, right? So express in words. A number less than or equal to 2. So first step, we circle the number. It has that equal line right here, right? Let me highlight it. See that line right there? So we're going to fill in this one. This one was open, this one is closed. Okay. And then we're going to draw the arrow. So we said a number is less than or equal to 2. So it's less than. I want to show you something that one of my students did. So instead of drawing it on that line, they actually went a little above, and then they just drew the arrow this way, which was sort of cleaner. You can see it easier. So whatever method you like, you can have it on the line or you can have it above the line. Both great. Okay, let's think of possible solutions, right? A number less than or equal to 2. We could have n equals 0. We could have n equals 2. We could have n equals negative 14, etc., right? These are all numbers that are less than or equal to 2, right? This one's equal to 2. So if you look, right, the 0 is on the shaded part, right? The arrow is overlapping the few answers that I picked. Okay, so let's do some practice problems. Oh, so that is like less than, equal to, not equal to, and then closed dot means included. Right. So closed dot, if we look at the example before, we had a closed dot because we had the line there. And then we had open dot because there was no line there. Okay, let's do a few examples and then we will be done. Okay. I'm going to use a different color. The number, -4. Step 2, fill it in if it has an equal sign. So this one has the equal sign, so we're going to fill it in. Step 3, draw an arrow. So this is saying x is greater than or equal to -4. So we're eating the bigger numbers. So x is bigger than -4. So what's a number that's bigger than -4? On this side. So is x equals 2 a solution? Well, 2 is on this highlighted thing. 2 is greater than or equal to -4, so yes. All right. I want you to try these two on your own and then come back and check the video. We start circle on the number. We're not going to fill it in because there's no line. And then we're going to, let's do it in a different order. Let's answer. If I put 0 in, right, is 0 less than 1? Like it is less than 1, so we know that this is yes, right? So if 0 is a solution, then we know that the arrow needs to include that. So we're going to have the arrow go this way. So that one, I answered a question first, and then I drew the arrow. A few more problems. Is t equal, okay, so we put 3 on here. We fill it in because of the line. We need numbers that are bigger than 3, right? It's eating the t, so our numbers need to be bigger than 3. Is t equals 1 a solution? So if you look over here, it's not in the arrow. So it's actually not a solution, right? All right, and then this one's a little tricky, but not so bad. Same steps. So we start with fill it in because it's not equal to. And then because it's a not equal to 2, we actually get to highlight both sides of the arrow. So is -5 a solution? Equal to 2, so we can say yes, -5 is a solution. All right, 2 more problems. So this one's the reverse. So this one I gave you the graph of, I gave you the inequality and you gave me the graph. So we're doing the opposite. Okay, so we start here. We have our -2 as our number, and the 2 is small, so the alligator is not going to eat -2, right? It's going to eat the other thing because this is the smallest number. So it says, so it's eating the bigger number, it's eating the x. This is the smaller number, that's why the arrow goes that way. Is 2 a solution? Yes, we can see, yes, it is a solution. All right, let's do this one. Let's start with the problem. Is -1 a solution? We could see that it's on -1, but it's an open circle. So it would be yes. Okay, so we have -1. -1 is the bigger number, right? All the numbers that are highlighted are less than, are smaller. So since -1 is the bigger number, we're going to have the mouth eating the -1. There's no equal sign. Oh, this one, I messed up. This one should have had equal sign. Yes, because it's filled in. So -1 is greater than x. Let me tell you, there's another way we could write this too, right? If I had -1 and I wanted it to be the bigger number, I could have had it on the other side. Right? As long as the mouth is eating the correct thing, you can have it on the left side or the right side. You just have to use the other arrow. All right, so if I was here and this has to eat X, so I just switched it and I put it on the left side. So these are both correct. You just got to be very careful. X is the bigger number. On both of these, -1 is the bigger number. So just be very careful with these inequalities. But all in all, it's just graphing. But we're only graphing in the X direction instead of the X and the Y, which you might have seen before. If that statement didn't make any sense, then it's okay. Just focus on this packet and what we did, and you should be